Is there a disruption you're expecting from the book?
Well, that was one of the ideas that I articulated towards the end of the book. Is I said, and I still believe, that many different sectors out there that weren't expecting disruption got disrupted. I think there's a lot of cases. Look at the taxi industry. Uber disrupted. Blockbuster certainly got disrupted by Netflix and others. You often don't see it coming. And so I contend, and I contended in the book, that the community-based not-for-profit sector is ripe for disruption, in part because it's so fragmented and because in many cases it's inefficient in terms of delivering what it seeks to deliver. And so I used to have this discussion with another leader in our sector where he postulated that there was enough money here in Montreal to address the homelessness challenge if we were able to figure out where all the money was. But we couldn't actually figure it out because a lot of it came from foundations and from individuals and from governments, and it was all being sent out to hundreds of little organizations that were all, feverishly working, trying to get something done inside their organization. But the problem was getting bigger. And so we said to ourselves at the time, well, maybe what we need to do is try to figure out whether there is enough money already and just channel it the right way. That's why I think the sector could very easily be disrupted, because I think at some stage our governments are going to say, look, there's a complex social challenge that we're facing with regard to things like homelessness, housing, poverty, and so on. And the only way to address it is going to be to stop doing a lot of the things that we have been doing, which might mean ending some of the funding for some of the groups that are out there that rely on it, and choosing their partners. And this is one of the things I recommend to governments, for example, is stop taking $1 and splitting it into 300 pieces and giving it out to 300 different organizations. Nothing good happens when you do that. Pick a partner and fund them in an outrageously incredible manner, but demand results. So figure out what results you're trying to target and fund in accordance with those outcomes, as opposed to just funding every organization just a little bit, which really results in a lot of little organizations still not getting all the funding they need. So therefore, they have to go and raise money in the public sphere. And at the end of the day, the job that we're trying to set out to do isn't being done, or at least it's not being done properly and efficiently. The interesting thing about the phenomena of homelessness is we know exactly what the answer is. We just have never had the courage. Our governments have never had the courage to tackle it, because it is a long-term proposition that goes out beyond 4-year electoral mandates. And so nobody has chosen to have the courage to put the things in place that are only going to bear fruit 10, 12, 14 years from now.